guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I am on fire with the KonMari Method because I have just finished decluttering my daughter's toys. Big task, one that I was really dreading. Before I jump into that and talk you through how I did it and what advice I would give if you're about to tackle your kids' toys too, I want to just share some news with you, some very exciting news. The YouTube channel hit 500 subscribers. 500. But I am so grateful to anybody who watches my videos, anyone who shares my videos, anyone who comments on the videos. We've got a little community going now, and there are a lot of regular commenters. So Linda, Jill, Chris, Blaheen, Tina Karen, CMS Sultana, all you wonderful people. Thank you so much. 500 subscribers is just mind-blowing. I am pretty flabbergasted, but I am so grateful, so thank you so much. So now let's move on to the KonMari part of this video. That's why you're all here, right? I know I said that I would continue with the vlogging format. I did that for last week's category, which was my outside storage space, and a lot of you commented and said that you really liked that format. But the universe intervened by way of my husband, who fell ill during the week and was moping around on the couch, feeling very sorry for himself and very miserable indeed. He has a touch of the man flu. Not exactly on death's door, it's not exactly fatal, but he was he was in a bit of a heap on the couch. So I didn't want to disturb him too much, so I knocked the vlogging on the head for this one, but I will definitely be doing it for my next category, which is the attic, which is another one I am dreading. But this one, my daughter's toys. I wasn't looking forward to this. If you have kids, you will understand that their toys just multiply and spread out all over your house, and it feels like you are being suffocated with toys, that the house is just completely overrun with them. Also, if you have kids, you will understand that there is no longer such thing as a clean and tidy house. So this is a picture I took of our sitting room before I started the purge. So yeah, not exactly clean and tidy, not how I would normally like to see the sitting room. I think though that one of the problems with clutter, especially with toys, is not necessarily that there are lots of them, though that is also a problem, but that they are spread out over the entire house so that it can feel like they're just everywhere. They're in every nook and cranny. So it can feel like there are much more of them than there actually are. But one of the things I did, and I would highly recommend, is I needed a quick win and I needed to regain some floor space. So I tackled the bulky toys first, the ones that were taking up a lot of floor space and were too big to be moved to a shelf or into a storage bin. So things like little ride-along cars, a big table she had for building blocks, a chalkboard, all of those things that are taking up a lot of space. I went through those very quickly. It only took me a few minutes, but the difference was huge, and I'm so glad I tackled that first. So definitely recommend that one. The second category I tackled then, subcategory, was her soft toys. Now she did have a lot, so there were teddies and dolls. I pulled all those out. There were about 60 of them in total, which for a 2-year-old is probably a tad excessive. So I went through those again. It only took me a few minutes, and I was left with a pile of about 25. 25 still seemed slightly excessive to me, so I decided I would give them a second going over. And when I did, I discovered something slightly embarrassing, which I will share with you. in the interest of full disclosure and being honest about my journey, but a lot of her soft toys were actually my soft toys. So teddies and things that I had collected throughout the years. Some I had when I was a baby, some I had collected, some my husband had given to me. So I had amassed a lot of soft toys throughout my lifetime. So when I separated out things that were actually mine, I was left with about 15 that were solely my daughter's, which seemed like a much more reasonable amount. The remainder of the pile, it was pretty big and I was pretty daunted. So daunted, in fact, that I left it until the following day to tackle it. And I set aside the whole morning to do it. And then it took me 15 minutes. I had it done really, really quickly. It seemed like such a massive pile. But when I got down to it, there wasn't really that much there. It was very easy to separate out things that she hadn't played with in a long time, things that she had outgrown. And once I had whittled it all down, I then divided it out. I put like things with like to make it easier to put them away. So I set up a little corner for her for drawing pictures. So she has a little table that I put into the corner. And I put all her crayons there and all her paints and markers and things like that. So they are now all in one place, as opposed to the previous situation, which was just finding crayons down the back of the couch, that sort of thing. Similarly with her little small toys, her toy cars, she's really into vehicles right now. So cars and trains and diggers, things like that. I corralled all of those into a storage tub that I bought in IKEA, and I showed you that in my IKEA haul video. That keeps all of those in one place. So now when she's looking for a particular car, I know exactly where it is. So some advice then, what's some pearls of wisdom that I could impart to you having decluttered my daughter's toys? The first, as I said, is to make sure the kids are out of the house. Do not do it while they're in the house. I had done sort of a pre-declutter. I had found one storage tub that we had, and I went through it very quickly one day while she was here, and that was a big mistake because she went through it herself and decided that some of the things, no, she really did want. Particularly the noisy, loud things, of course. So they found their way back into regular rotation. So wait until your kids are out of the house. I waited until my parents were able to look after her, and then I went through the place with a vengeance. The second tip then, again, as I've already mentioned, is to do the bulky items first. Kids come with a lot of stuff. Ranging from tiny little things that will go missing in all sorts of places to big giant things that take over half of a room. So do those first. You will notice a big difference immediately, and that will spur you on and keep you moving. Then, and I know I've mentioned this in previous videos, but it is so important, have an escape plan. Have a plan for how you are going to get that stuff out of the house as quickly as possible before your kids twig that it's still around and that, why is that pile over there in the corner? I'll just go have a nosy in here. Oh, look at all these toys I can play with. And before you know it, the house is in bits again. So this is one I struggled with this time because I did plan on getting them out of the house, throwing them into the boot of the car, bringing them to the charity shop. But again, the universe intervened and said, no. And the car broke down. So, shit happens. But this stuff is currently sitting in our laundry room, and my husband is slightly vexed that he can't really get in there. And I'm constantly saying, no, don't let her in there. Don't let her in there, in case she sees all of the stuff. So our car has just come back from the garage. It is now fixed and shiny and sparkly new and running properly. So those are going to be donated as soon as possible. And then finally, categorize your stuff as I did. Once you have it all whittled down, separate them out, put like with like, and that makes everything so much easier. So as I said, I have all my daughter's painting and colouring things in one place. I have all of her toy cars in one place, and it just makes everything so much easier. The big benefit to decluttering toys is that it makes cleanup so much easier, infinitely easier. If you've got kids, you understand the pain that is running around after them, trying to pick up everything that they just drop on the floor. And it becomes just a never-ending, horrifying cycle. And it is soul destroying. It's just one of those never-ending tasks. So the big benefit I have found from doing my daughter's toys is that there are no longer big piles of stuff all over the floor. Immediately I can tell her to put something back and she knows exactly where it goes. If she doesn't want to put it back, because kids aren't always exactly 100% cooperative, it's so much easier for me to just throw them back in the box or wherever they went, put it back on the shelf, and that's it. Job done. So, if you have kids, definitely declutter their toys. Even if you're not following the KonMari method, I think it's so important. Kids grow out of things so quickly. There's a constant influx of new things all of the time. So it's very important to be also getting stuff out for your own sanity. My sanity has somewhat returned. But the big benefit for me was seeing how clean the space is now, how much more space we have, and how much easier it is to tidy up, and how much more willing my daughter is to tidy up after herself. So if that doesn't get you decluttering, I don't know what will. But thank you so much for watching as usual. I will be back very soon with my KonMari of the attic, which I am dreading. It's such a big space. There's so much up there. Oh my god. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to follow me on my journey as I complete the KonMari process. I'm so close to the end now. So close to the end. I can taste it. I can taste the victory. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye. This is not 500.